Right? So you've just completed the number patterns questions. Now, not only are there number patterns, but shape patterns too. So you can find patterns in numbers and with shapes. So this problem says Camille made a shape pattern with pattern blocks that goes back and forth between a triangle and a square. Draw the pattern that Camille made. So you can use models to help us understand the problem. So we're going to start describing the pattern with words. We're going to repeat the pattern at least 3 times so we can make sure we have a greater understanding of what the pattern is. So we write the words out. So between triangle and square. So triangle, then square, triangle, then square, triangle, then square. Well, now you can draw the shapes in the order that you named them: triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle, square. This allows you to work through this pattern and work it out. So we know we have a triangle and square, and it goes back and forth: triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle, square. So using words, reading the word problem and using words and pictures to make it more understandable. Okay? So we use those models. Now, you could also use the pattern blocks to help understand the problem. Okay? So she used pattern blocks in the shapes that Camille used to create her pattern. So you have those 3D blocks. Okay. So now we're going to explore the shape pattern from this page a little further. All right. We want to know, how many sides does a triangle have? How many sides does a triangle have? Well, let's look at it. Okay. So we have sides. These are sides. And we have 1, 2, 3. So the flat part are the sides of the triangle. So the sides of a triangle, they have 3. How many sides does a square have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has 4. Now, how could you describe the pattern using the number of sides the shape has? Right? So when we go through it, um, we're looking, and based on the number of sides, we can say that the shapes alternate between 3 and 4 sides, meaning they go back and forth between 3 and 4 sides, right? So if we look at the picture, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. All right. Now, what would the 10th shape in the pattern be? So it's asking us, what would the 10th shape in the pattern be? Okay. Well, let's look at it. So one way we could do this is to continue drawing the pattern, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. So we'll go triangle 7, square 8, triangle 9, square 10. Or if we use the sides, right? We could think, okay, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. We'd have 3, 4, 3, 4. Well, I know that 4 sides is a square. Okay. So the 10th shape in the pattern would be a square. Now, how can you figure out what the 85th shape in the pattern would be without drawing all 85 shapes? Well, if you look at it, let's look. So, if we take this and we see that we have a triangle, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What do you notice about the shapes and the number and the order that they're in? Well, it looks like all the squares are at the even number spot, but all the triangles are at the odd. So what we could say is that I think that the 85th shape in the pattern would be a triangle because all of the triangles are in odd numbers. So if this is the 10th shape, it's a square, the ninth is a triangle. These are all odd numbers. So I would say the shape would be a triangle because all of the triangles are in the odd numbers, right? So they're in the odd numbers when you number the pattern. So there are all sorts of ways you can look at different patterns, shapes, and numbers to figure out what the pattern is, okay, and what it could be. So what you're going to do is you're going to use what we just learned, and you're going to describe rules you see in a specific shape pattern. All right, so that's what you're going to do with that. So that is how you can identify patterns within shapes.